Hello, I'm Sue McMahon and I'm cookery editor of Woman's Weekly magazine, and I'm going to show you how to make the blueberry and almond tray bake which appeared in the 2nd of June issue of Woman's Weekly. The ingredients for the pastry layer are 100 grams of butter, 200 grams of plain flour, a couple tablespoons of caster sugar and 1 medium egg. Then for the sponge layer, there's 150 grams of butter, 150 grams of caster sugar, 150 grams of self-raising flour, 50 grams of ground almonds, a couple tablespoons of flaked almonds, a few drops of almond extract, 3 medium eggs, and a punnet, either 125 or 150 grams of blueberries, and just a little bit of icing sugar to dust over the top. The equipment that's needed is a tray bake tin. This tin is 26 by 16.5 centimetres. Then I use a hand whisk, and for making the base I find the quickest way is to make it in a food processor, but if you don't have one then you can rub the butter into the flour by hand. So to make the base, I'm going to tip the plain flour into the bowl of the food processor and add the butter and the caster sugar, and then I'm going to whiz this until it looks like fine breadcrumbs. And then I'm going to add the medium egg. This time I want to mix it till it just starts to bind together. I don't want it to form a paste. I want it to look like coarse breadcrumbs. So when it's at that stage, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip it into my lined tin, then spread it so it's evenly spread out in the tin, and then I'm going to use my fingers to press it down. So this is like a pastry base, but rather than having to roll out pastry, it just gets pressed into the tin, so it makes it quicker. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit rough because it's going to be covered with a sponge topping. So that's my finished base that needs chilling for about 1/4 of an hour in the fridge while I make the topping. So to make the filling, I've put the butter into the bowl and I'm going to whisk it to make sure it's soft. Then to this I'm going to add the caster sugar. And this needs to be creamed together until it's light and fluffy. So once that's mixed, I'm going to add the almond extract, just a little bit, I don't want it to be overpowering it, and the ground almonds. Then I'm going to add the eggs, just one at a time, and I'm going to add a little bit of the flour with each egg, just about a spoonful. Then the second egg with a bit more of the flour, and then the final egg and the rest of the flour. So this mixture now needs to go over the base. And then I'm going to scatter the blueberries over the top. And then the flaked almonds go over the top of this. And this needs to go in an oven at 180 degrees, which is gas 4, for about 40 to 45 minutes. And in the oven, I've already put a baking sheet to heat up so that it will give instant heat to the base of the tray bake. Okay, so when it's cooked, it should be a light golden colour and it should spring back when it's pressed lightly in the centre. So once the tray bake is cold, you can cut it into squares. So for this size, I normally cut it into 15. And before serving it, I dust over some icing sugar. Because the blueberries are slightly moist, the icing sugar soaks into them, so you should only dust it with the icing sugar just before serving. So that's my finished blueberry and almond tray bake.